I'm not a Metal Jesus subscriber, but a few weeks ago I happened to notice in my recommended videos a new room tour video from the man himself. Yes, Metal Jesus has purchased a new house and was granted permission by his wife to not only have a game room, but an entire gaming floor. And I watched the video, and it was what it was, but I decided to click on over to Radical Rick's channel. Radical Rick, the self-styled critical satirist who goes after a lot of retro gaming YouTube personalities. I thought this was perfect fodder for him. He probably has something very funny to say about this. But sadly, I discovered his channel was compromised or raided in some way, and much of his content was deleted. So I sent him some warm wishes, and a mutual subscriber of ours said, you know what, you should make a video on the Metal Jesus gaming floor. I don't tend to get a lot of viewer requests, but when I do, I fulfill them, and I figured, why not come on today and give you my thoughts about the gaming floor. So, sadly for me, there's not going to be a rant. I don't have any animosity towards Metal Jesus. I don't find his type of video game content to be particularly engaging. I think it's kind of a superficial type of video that I guess places highly in the YouTube trending videos. Not too much to digest, just kind of light fare, as it were. But for me, I don't see the way he operates as particularly negative. He is an influencer. And his business model is to generate engagement and monetize that engagement in any and every way he can. So, whereas Radical Rick's point was that, these guys who have Patreons and YouTube donations are embarrassments and they should really be, quote-unquote, working for their money. I kind of see what they do as a type of work in and of itself. And I've defended that position. It doesn't mean that I like it. It doesn't mean that I enjoy this type of content. It's just quite simply, these guys have this little side business, or maybe I guess in Metal Jesus' case, it's his main career. And that's kind of the name of the game. Influencing is incredibly profitable. They're not content creators. They're not collectors. They're not regular guys pursuing their hobbies. These are people who have small independent publicist and advertising operations, and they make money off it. So I always thought the best thing to do is, if you're bothered by this, is don't subscribe, don't lurk on their channels, and really don't care. Just don't pay attention. Don't give them that engagement that fuels the lifestyle that you might want to criticize. So the house, or the gaming floor, just to me was a culmination of all of that engagement, all of those donations. The Metal Jesus army helped pay for this, and if you like that kind of content, you were on board, be happy for him, and if you don't, just don't let it bother you and ignore it. Now, as for the game room itself, just a little review here. To me, the room, or the floor, as it were, it came across as an example of collecting as an act of conspicuous consumption, uncontained. It was kind of like a showpiece or a backdrop to his channel, rather than a room or the floor of a house. I thought it was kind of too over-designed. It was a little ostentatious. I'm not going to ding him for the LED light strips kind of sagging all over the place. I recently tried to install these in my house, and they are a massive pain in the ass. The adhesive is utter garbage, so not going to complain about that. But more broadly, I think the two best examples of room tour videos on YouTube are Pete Doerr's room tour from 2015 and Happy Console Gamer's room tour from maybe around the same time, if not a year later. And both of those videos and both of those rooms, to me, were tributes to gaming and collecting that were contained in a lived space. Contained within rooms that still have some function as rooms in normal houses. Whereas MJR's new room was very clearly a curated space. It felt artificial. It felt like it was being staged maybe for Mike Kennedy's retro video game magazine back when that guy was shilling subscriptions online. To me, I like real rooms. I like the knowledge that I have this room in my house, and I have dedicated a certain portion of it to a hobby I love rather than designing a room or a space as if it were a stage for my own self-obsession, or in this case, for a YouTube channel. So there you have it. Not the fire and fury that Radical Rick could bring, but just my opinion. And to Rick, I frequently disagreed with him on a lot of things, but I hope he gets his channel back up and running soon.